Okay, good afternoon, everybody. We're going to get started. We'll call the meeting to order. It's 1:33. I'll do a roll call. I'm LJ Fazaro, Chief of Police.
I'm John Burt, Town Manager, and I apologize for both of us. We're both sick. Rather than cancel the meeting, we're doing it remote.
We've also got in attendance Greg Hanover, the Director of Public Works, Officer Sharif Afifi, one of our community policing officers, and Jeannie Vislowski, the Secretary for the Local Traffic Authority. So the first item of business is approval of minutes from the December 14th meeting.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, next item is public communications. First item is correspondence from Andrew Perella regarding crosswalks at Long Hill Road and Wayne Road. I did take a quick look. This is, I believe he's talking about a crosswalk that would extend from, I'm assuming, the area of Greater Jewelers across the street to maybe the Kodo Japanese restaurant, somewhere in that area. Or just on the other side of the road from that. Given this is a state road, we can initiate some correspondence with the state to have them look at it and get their thoughts. I'm in favor of that if you are as well, John.
Yes, I'm good with that.
Okay. Do we need to make that in the form of a motion, or is it just merely have Jeannie?
Well, how about just in case that they end up finding that, I'll make
Sure.
a motion to do that.
All right, and I'll second that. And all in favor?
Aye.
Along the same line as the next item, which is also on Wayne Road. It's requesting a blinking yellow left turn signal. I'm not exactly sure what. I don't see too many of those. I don't know that the state would be in favor of a blinking yellow left turn signal on Wayne Road. I don't know what that request really means, because I don't see many of those, and I'm not sure if the state Department of Transportation has to weigh in on that. I don't know that that's something that they would necessarily approve. Jeannie, did you have that correspondence? Could you read it?
Yeah. Okay. And it sounds like she wants the blinking yellow so that she can turn whenever it's free. But and we received this from the City of Groton Mayor. It's from a Loretta Ann McElwee. It says, "Is it possible to make the left turn lane onto Wayne Road a blinking yellow? It would be very helpful and allow traffic heading north to continue to flow. There used to be a left turn light to stop traffic heading north, but this is no longer the case. It seemed to go away when the recent repaving work was being done. Anytime a car needs to turn left onto Wayne Road, the light signal needs to cycle through, letting traffic out of Kodo and Wayne Road many times while there are no cars waiting. At least if you added back in the left turn option while allowing traffic to continue south on Long Hill, that would be an improvement. But there are so many times traffic is very light or not at all, and a left turn is certainly safe." So I took it to mean if they approach and want to take a left turn, they want it blinking yellow so that they can go and not wait for the traffic light circulation to turn green, and then they can go. That's what I got out of it.
I don't know how that would. I don't think that would work. I think that you could ask them to relook at adding the dedicated, turn arrow. But
how about if we just ask maybe in the same correspondence on the previous matter, ask them to take a look at that left turn and see if there's any improvements that can be made, and maybe include her correspondence.
There's probably a reason they took it out, though, but we can ask.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. Yeah, I'm sure there is. I don't know that we need to make a motion on that.
I make a motion to ask them to look at that.
Sure. Okay. I'll second that.
Okay.
And both in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. Item number 3 under public communications is correspondence regarding handicap parking in downtown Mystic. Jeannie, would you mind reading that?
Yes. Okay. This one I received through the town manager's office. It's from Anil Spillane. He called the town manager's office suggesting that the traffic authority look at handicap parking in downtown. He shared that there are not enough of handicap parking spots and thought the town should consider a few spots in front of the Oyster House as handicap parking. And then he's asking that it be placed on a future agenda.
I don't disagree that maybe there could be some more handicap parking spots. I don't know that putting in front of just one business would be suitable. Given that we've already got a lot of, well, we deal with parking problems in Mystic quite frequently. I might suggest that we task Sharif with coming up with some recommendations. Are you comfortable with that, John?
Yes.
Yeah, Sharif, why don't we do that? Let's maybe before the next traffic authority meeting, if we can get you to go downtown Mystic and come up with a couple of additional spots that you would recommend for handicap parking. We can kind of go from there.
So I could certainly do that because I get my share of inquiries when I'm down there throughout the summer. Folks with the handicap placard asking where they can park with the proximity.
Right. Yeah. And we all know parking is at a premium everywhere down there. So I think if we're more strategic, instead of saying all the spots in front of the Oyster, I imagine he's talking about the Oyster Club, are handicap. I don't know that would. I don't know if that would fit the bill, so to speak, and it may run counter to the business desires too. But we can certainly look at spots throughout downtown to see if there's any we can identify for handicap parking.
You couldn't physically fit them in that area anyway because you have to you'd have to move the sidewalk, and the sidewalk's right up against the building as it is. So that's how.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's
not
not
that's not a good spot to get out.
No, I can certainly come up with some other spots there, Chief. So.
Okay, so say that again, Greg. It has to be some of those areas would have to be widened to.
Regular parallel space, and you have to have an additional 3-foot crosshatch. Against the sidewalk and then the sidewalk. So if you look at these spaces that are along West Main Street, you'll see that the sidewalk was pushed back to allow for that crosshatch area.
Okay.
Right there too. So they take the parallel handicap parking spaces take up a lot of room.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's a good to know. Good thing to know. Well, I'll make. I guess I'll make that in the form of a motion that we task community policing officer Fifi to review potential locations for additional handicap parking in downtown Mystic.
Okay, I second.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. And the last item under public communications is a request for a freestanding pedestrian crossing pylon on would you mind reading that one too?
And this had come in from a Patty Trammell. And it's addressed to you, Chief. I am Patricia Trammell, resident of Knowing, and I'm checking on a request for one of those crosswalk, very noticeable yellow pylon stop signs for the BB Cove crosswalk. Since the walk is on 215, I wrote the state DOT. I received an email telling me that it was a local police matter. I went to the police building. All right, then she went to Public Works, and Public Works said, "Come here to the traffic authority."
So I think we discussed this earlier, but we have these in other locations. Is that right?
So we have 2 currently to put out during the spring, summer, fall because you can't be out on the plowing. Put them on Groton Road at Elm Street at Beach. And I believe there may be some.
So as long as DOT it doesn't oppose it, then we're fine with.
Yeah, we could purchase one and put it in.
Okay.
With DOT.
All right, so we'll I'll make a motion that we have correspondence with DOT indicating that we're in favor of that and looking for their concurrence.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. All right. Next item is old business. I don't see any old business. New business.
Real quick on old business.
Sure.
Have we heard any update on that request along Route 1, the request from Al, oh Jesus, but that's his last name. Jeannie, the one I emailed you about a little bit ago.
I have the request into OSTA, but I have not heard back.
Okay, thank you. Al Fritchie, that's who it was.
Okay.
And I request motion you to just.
So the next item is new business. The first item is request for no-through truck signage on London Road between Route 1 and Water Street. Sharif, you had spoken about that previously, right? Do you have any comments on that?
Oh, sorry, I'm requesting that because as the weather gets warmer, we see our sheriff trucks that come down New London, and then West Main or West Main, New London, and then they'll veer right and take the shortcut down to Water Street for delivery trucks. And it's a heavily populated residential area with folks walking up and down, and you're getting 18 plus wheels that are trying to navigate their way through there, and at times they will get even stuck at the bottom of the stop sign of Water Street. So I spoke with our point of contact at the state traffic engineer, and he said once they get approval from the LTA, they can get me through to the right department to get a new through truck signed to alleviate the issues.
So what do they need from us? They just need a letter from us requesting it?
Yes, sir. Yeah, so sir, I believe he said it'll have to come directly from you.
Okay.
This is what we're requesting on behalf of, as approved from the local traffic authority, and then he'll get it at the right department within.
Okay, and I assume that the signs would go at the closer up to Allen Street, is that right? So
Yes,
people
sir.
don't come down, okay. So I'll I'll make a recommend or a motion that we write that letter. I'll author that letter to the DOT requesting that.
I second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
And there's a request for, next item is a request for a stop sign on Crest Drive in Fenwick Court. Jeannie, do you have that correspondence? Because I looked this up on the map. There is a stop sign there already. I'm wondering if they're looking for another one.
And we just received this, so Officer Fifi hasn't had a chance to look at it, but it came in from Councilor Gajowski, passed on a resident concern for the traffic authority. The request is to add a stop sign at Crest Drive and Fenwick Court. Crest Drive is a hill, and kids play in the road at the bottom of the hill. And then he was saying the resident making the request was Kathleen Foster at 10 Fenwick Court.
So
it just came in January 29th, so we haven't had a chance to look at it yet.
okay. So why don't we have Officer Fifi take a look at that? I'm looking at it on the map. I guess I can see what they're talking about. But maybe he could meet with her, just kind of get a sense of what her concerns are, take a look on it, take a look at it on the street and make a recommendation. Are you in favor of that, John?
Yeah, it's fine with me.
Okay. So why don't we do that? We'll table that one, and in the interim, Sharif, if you could do that for us, we'd appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
And the next item of business is a request to prohibit commercial trucks on Gravel and Pearl Street. Jeannie, would you
This
be able
was
to?
this was a memo that the town manager sent me to put it on the agenda.
Gotcha. Is there any comment on that, or is it just an action item?
Yeah, that's all I've got.
I've had a few people reach out to me that live down there and have asked if we'd look at that. I'd like to hear from Officer Fifi on. Officer Fifi, did you say there's a loading zone at each beginning of those?
Yes, sir. So we do have two commercial loading zones at the beginning of Pearl Street and just past the Mystic Floors that you get utilized by various delivery trucks, whether it's for Young Buns or all the way down to the Mariner, or up and down West Main. And we have another one that certainly gets heavily utilized right on Gravel Street for deliveries only by most of the shops right past closer to the drawbridge on the other side.
Right.
Having said that, though, sir, I do fully see why some residents will be concerned because when cars parked on both sides of Pearl Street, it gets quite tight. And on Gravel Street, now, especially there, a commercial truck coming through, nobody's going to be able to go, right or left. So I don't know if we would look into limiting the size of the trucks, to your point earlier there, because I don't know, I don't know if we could really eliminate it altogether, because I do see it heavily utilized.
Do you see any larger trucks going down there,
Uh,
like semis or anything? No.
yes, sir, on gravel, I do, not Pearl though. It was odd that I see the concern on both, not so much on Pearl. Pearl was more that because I know how tight the road is. But on gravel, I do see some that when they're parked there, I'll have sometimes a hard time with a cruiser even navigating around them to go down, up Gravel Street.
Now, I'd be sort of in favor of nothing larger than like a delivery van, but I think we should probably talk to the chamber and
Yeah.
just make sure there's not gonna be a, major disruption.
Yeah, because I could see if they're using those loading zones and you can't drive down the road, would that create a problem with trucks backing onto Route 1?
Right?
Yes, sir.
Um,
I've seen them try to do that too, and I advise them not to. So I let them know, even if cars coming down Gravel Street have to wait for you in that little area where the road widens a little bit, let them wait, but you can't back out on West.
yeah, yeah, it create another problem. I don't certainly understand where they're coming from, but it doesn't seem like there's an easy solution to that. Like just saying, no, you can't have trucks coming down. So is there any recommendation at this point, or is it something that we should just socialize with the chamber and get their thoughts on it?
We
Yeah,
could
let's get their thoughts on it.
Okay.
we could do that. We could also look at the because it's the same business as getting their deliveries. So to the town manager's point earlier, well, how large are those trucks are needed so that we're not disrupting the business? Maybe it's a very rare occurrence. Maybe they don't really need the truck that size that come in because I don't see it that much as I see the smaller size trucks up and down Gravel Street.
Right.
So I'll maybe reach out to the chamber president, unless you want to do it, John, and we'll kind of initiate that conversation there.
I could reach out to Bruce, but Officer Fifi, could you touch base with the owners of the shops right there?
Yes, sir. That's what I'm thinking. Yes, sir. I can do that and just get an idea that we're not. It's not detrimental to the business one way or another, or what their really needs are from those trucks.
All right. It sounds like a plan. If nothing more is needed on that, we can look on to other items of business. The first item that we have here is the Tour Mystic presentation, and I know we have some representatives with us today about this. Correct?
Hi, Chief Rosario. Thanks for having me today. I just prepared like a little statement here if you'd like to hear about this. My name is Ryan Tebow. I first want to thank you all for allowing me the opportunity to share this business plan with you. It's something I'm extremely passionate about. At Tour Mystic, we're looking to take an eco-friendly approach to tourism in our town by providing locals and tourists an all-electric guided trolley tour through some of our historic and scenic locations. This is a small touring vehicle with a maximum capacity of about 6 people, including 1 operator. Our objective is to fit seamlessly into town. So should anything be a concern, we'd love to work with you all to address those issues. I've been working with the town of Mystic for about 4 years now, and I've seen firsthand the staggering growth of tourism here. We've seen new hotels popping up, shops, restaurants. We've seen addition to tours, such as the Sabino and guided ghost tours. What we're looking to do is to offer a unique experience along with providing those with the capability of walking without the capability of walking long distances, a chance to view our town, all while teaching people about the role Mystic building of America. Tour number 1, the first option we have here, will guide people through downtown Mystic and point out some of our historic locations. We will mainly be on back roads. We will not be stopping unless there's a safe place to do so. This tour does not plan on making frequent stops to ensure that we're being respectful to our residents. The tour operator tells stories from as far back as the early 1600s. Option 1 is about 60 to 90 minutes. Would take place about 4 times a day. This tour would need to obtain approval from the Stonington side, Mystic as well. Option number 2 would strictly take place on the Groton side of Mystic. with a pickup location in front of the Mystic, no public library, or would not operate on any state roads, would only take place on back roads such as High Street, River Road, and gravel, just to name a few. This is a shorter route, about 30 to 45 minutes, so we would do so about 8 tours per day in the peak of summer. I'd also like to add that prior to the tour, our passengers would be briefed on volume as we pass through some of these historical neighborhoods. The tour operator will also keep volume to a minimum as we pass through these areas. Once our tour is complete for the day, we'll be storing the vehicle at Ocean View Ave, 175, to my parents' house. If we refer back to the business plan that I provided, it gives us a more in-depth look at some of these locations and points of interest we hit along the way. Thank you guys very much for your consideration.
Well, thanks for your presentation. The first question I have is well, it sounds great. It's the vehicles themselves as far as registration and roadworthiness and safety. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, this is a street legal vehicle. As it states of the law, we are able to operate with the city's approval on streets that are 25 miles per hour or less. So I've seen that the route that I've provided are on streets that are 25 miles per hour or less. It is classified as a low speed vehicle, so I'm not sure about state roads. Me and Jeannie were talking about that a couple days ago here.
Yeah. So would they be registered? Are they registered with the Department of Motor Vehicles?
I believe so. I have to double check on that part, actually. I mean, once we agreed on a vehicle, then I would go further into depth on that. I just wanted to present my first option, which would be this vehicle.
Sure. The only thing I would, just most of the roads that you're talking about either intersect with or are entirely state roads, i.e., West Main, gravel, not gravel, Water Street. Those areas down there are actually state roads. They're Route 1 or 215. So, they need to be registered in order to operate roads.
Okay. I know option number 2, I did avoid any state roads on that one. Were you saying that gravel is a state road?
No, I'm sorry. Gravel is not a state road. That's a town road.
Okay, so option number 2 is completely off of state roads. And in order to get the vehicle back to the storage location, we would unload it on a trailer, things like that as well, if that was a concern.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with these at all. So those are my questions. I'm just interested in like I say, they're traveling on the roadways and they're over a certain horsepower or CCs, they need to be registered. So I'd want to look into that and make sure that that they can be registered to operate on the roadway.
Gotcha.
Very nice. Very nice.
But conceptually, I don't have a problem. A good potential avenue to get people around about the downtown area tours. But I don't have any questions.
Like that if there's anything we can do to help with the transportation of people to and from different areas too, we'd be willing to, service to that as well.
Chief, is this just us giving input? Is this something we actually have to authorize or not?
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm reluctant to offer any authorization without knowing about vehicles that are going to be used and what their roadworthiness and registration status is. And even if it's on a town road, it still needs to be registered. So, I do think those are questions that you're going to have to answer for us.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. As far as registering that vehicle, I can check on that as well. And if I can get that approval over to you guys, is this something that we would,
Right. And how about insurance? I imagine you're gonna have an insurance rider. I'm just, I live in the world of bad things happening, so I'd like to make sure that people are covered.
Yeah, of course, you'd be fully insured.
And Ryan, what times of the day? For option 2, if we say we say the one where you don't utilize the state road. What times of the day or how?
So from 10 a.m. to last tour is at 5:30.
And And John, I don't know if this is something OPDS might have to be involved in too for, you know, for the business that's operating on the roads and,
We should at least run it by them.
yeah.
Mention that to
Yeah.
Ryan when I talk to him.
They might be interested in vehicle storage too.
Home occupation. Yeah.
Well, do you have anything else to add, sir?
That's all I have for today. I was really looking for, the first step was to get approval to move forward with anything else on either option number 1 or option number 2.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable personally with offering any approval at this point until some of those questions are answered for him.
Yeah, me either.
That doesn't mean you won't, you know, we won't reconsider it and look at it in the future, but if you can answer that stuff for us, like I said, it might take a little homework on your part to connect with DMV and find out what that would look like as far as being able to operate those on any of the traffic roadways in the town. Anxious to hear what they have to say.
I'll look into that and I'll definitely get back to you.
Okay, well, thank you for your presentation and for this information. It looks promising.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. And the last item of business is on Long Point Road traffic calming measures. If I'm not mistaken, did you have something on that, Greg? Is that something you?
I just had forwarded you and John email stating that I had met with DOT on the 2 upcoming bridge projects, or particularly the Groton Bridge over Amtrak. And there's a few traffic calming measures that they're going to implement as part of the project. One of them
I'm
is
fully in favor.
Yeah.
10-foot travel lanes, so larger bike lanes on the shoulders. You're going to put up a permanently mounted, your speed is X, one of those digital signs.
Yep.
coming
And then
down. And
some
also,
signage by Esker Point. Is that right?
yeah, and then some, both the crosswalks where Elm Street and Point Beach are, they're going to put in those rapid flashing beacons, pedestrian activated.
Oh, that's all good stuff.
It's all positive stuff for us.
Yeah. No, do we need to take any action on that? I'm in favor of it.
No, they're going ahead with it.
Okay. All right. I think that was our last item of business. Did I miss anything?
No, just want to give Mr. Levin an opportunity. And Chief, no, sir, if I may, I just wanted to give Mr. Levis an opportunity. That's the gentleman that had brought up the concern about the crosswalks on New London and Elm Street and New London High Street. West
Okay.
High Street.
Sure.
Levis.
So I moved to Mystic about 19.
I'm sorry. Is he there? I can't see anybody. I'm sorry. Oh, there you are. Way over the corner. Gotcha.
I've been in Mystic since '99. We have dogs here. And so my wife has 4 dogs, and we walk them. She walks them twice a day, two and two. Then I've started walking for health reasons. And so there's about 3 routes: Orchard Street, around the library, and then one's got Fort Rachel. So when you cross, was it West Main?
What's me and Elm. I think this is the
Yeah.
one we.
So right now, there's not a problem. I mean, I can queue up to go into the crosswalk, and people will stop. And rarely do I see anybody flying up that hill. Summertime, all bets are off. I had a officer in a cruiser stop coming down from Allen Street to let me cross. I was in the crosswalk, and this car comes flying up the hill around that turn, and the officer put the light on it to make him slow down. He would have hit me if that officer hadn't. And there's been a lot of close calls. There's
Well,
one.
I'm glad that officer was in the right place at the right time. That's good to
Man,
good to hear. Sometimes we get the opposite comments.
here. So, and also, I was coming through that, and I have a high-powered flashlight, and I use the strobe, and that tends to work a lot at night. But when as soon as there's no traffic coming, I hit that because they come flying up at me. And then one night I was coming back home, and I was in the crosswalk halfway through it, a car came flying through. The car behind him says, "Did you see that?" Blah, blah, blah. I said, "I know." So you get these people, I don't know if they come from Jersey and the casinos or what, and their wife talks and they're coming into Mystic, but it's the New Jersey plates are the worst. The Boston plates there's some good, some bad. The New Yorkers seem to be courteous. We'll figure. But it's dangerous. Someone's going to get hit. And I hate if we could get something where, like a yield, pedestrians. I don't think that, your speeding makes any, especially the ones in the summer. They don't care. It's like parking in Mystic. $20 for a parking ticket. They pay more for that in New York. Just to park. It doesn't do anything. But something like yield in the crosswalk, or Officer Fifi had mentioned, a four-way stop would be a good thing. But I know, and they come up from Mystic, and they're about ready to strangle somebody because of all the traffic. They get a straight stretch of asphalt, and they haul. I mean, they haul. They're doing like 50.
Well, you're suggesting that there be more signage put on what location? I'm sorry, around.
You can get these yield signs that says yield for people in the crosswalk. They put them in the crosswalk. They have them in Stony on the same road. They put those out in the sun.
You're talking just a sign, or is it electrified or anything like that?
Oh, no, just a sign, just a plastic thing. They're like $320. I thought about buying them.
Like right in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Right, simply for the
Those
sun.
plastic. They go in the
So
middle of the road.
we could certainly look at that.
Officer Phoebe mentioned, when they come up the hill, they hit that turn. He mentioned the stop sign, four-way stop.
Well, I inquired.
Yeah.
I spoke with our colleague at the state traffic engineer, and he said it will probably be problematic because of the stopping distance for cars. You're dealing with a lot of curves negotiating in the London West Main, and they have to look at the average speed of cars in that area, not the speed limit, and to give them the stop sign for them to negotiate enough to stop. He didn't think that was the most feasible option.
Well, that makes no sense.
I mean, I'm just saying that that's the feedback that
I know, but
received, because you got to look at how much
people
time
come
you
too
have to
fast to stop.
So let's do this. Officer Fifi, can I get you to make a recommendation on that? Take a look at that. Have you already been out there?
Yes, sir.
Maybe you and I will take a ride out there next week, and take a look and see if there's something that we can come up with. If there's something that we can get DOT to maybe buy off on and maybe put something or consider something that might be a little bit more of a warning for people that are approaching those crosswalks.
Yeah.
We do have
Chief.
we do have Chief both on past West Main and Library, because that came up in my conversation.
Let's take a look at it next week, Sharif. You and I will go out, because I'm having a hard time visualizing it as we're sitting here.
Yes, sir.
It won't look bad now. You should come down there on Saturday night.
No, I hear you.
Because the locals are fine.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Chief, should we do a motion to authorize you to pursue something if you find a workable solution rather than waiting
Sure.
2 months?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes.
Neighbors.
Are there any other items of business?
We received a thank you note from Joan Thorpe, for the stop sign on the Brook Street extension. Remember, it was a yield sign. If you're on,
great.
you go up to Brook Street. She thanked you.
All right, well, we'll pass that thanks on to Public Works for putting it in.
I hear you.
All right. Any other items of business? Not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye,
All right, the meeting is adjourned at 2:07.
thank you.
All right, thank you, everybody, and we'll definitely take a look at your concerns there, sir, for that crosswalk. Hopefully we can come up with a good solution for you.